channel. Yay! Alright, thank you so much to all my subscribers, to all those sticking with me through thick and thin. Yes, thank you so much for sticking around, and to all those that would come around, watch my video and then leave without subscribing. Make sure you join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, this channel is a motivational lifestyle and a growth channel. So if any of these things I said interest you, then you should join the family. All you need to do is to do what? Click on that subscribe button right about now. So today we have a very beautiful thing to talk about. So without wasting so much of our time, I'll be going straight into the video. So stay tuned. Okay, so today we'll be talking about intentionality. We'll be talking about the definition of intentionality and various aspects of our lives where we need to be intentional. So if this is something that you've been wanting me to talk about on this channel, then you should watch this video to the very end, because I am certain that you'd get value from this video. So don't even slide up, just make sure you watch to the very end of this video. This is Light Cable, and of course this is my humble self, Akaolisa Metoma. Okay, intentionality simply means being purposeful, being deliberate about something. It simply means being aware of a particular purpose, right? Now, intentionality doesn't mean perfection. Okay, a whole lot of us think that you just have to be perfect, you have to get everything right before you can be intentional. No, intentionality simply means you know that this is something that you need to go for, and then you go for it. You're deliberate, you're focused, like you don't entertain any form of distraction. Intentionality simply means the awareness, like the general awareness of an end to achieve. Like you want to achieve this thing, you have this goal to achieve, and then you go for it, right? Even God is seen as an intentional God. Why do we see God as an intentional God? You know, there's this gospel musician that sang the song Intentional, Intentional God. For goodness sake, God is seen as an intentional God because God is purposeful. God has a focus, like he had a reason for everything he does. Okay, now if God can be seen as an intentional God, that simply means it is expected that we as the creator of the creator needs to be intentional as well, and thereby that simply means that every aspect of our life we need to be intentional about it. We don't just need to be intentional of our financial part. Yes, I know a whole lot of us really go through that part, but for goodness sake, God did not create us in this world to come and make money and go. Okay, there are other aspects of our lives that we need to be intentional about, and I'll be talking about this aspects of our lives as well. Okay, before we move into the aspects of our lives where we need to be intentional about, right, I'll be listing out some things we personally need to check off before we are intentional. One of the things we need to discover is, who are you? Yes, who are you? Like, what are my values? What are my core, things that I really put on high esteem? What are those things that I enjoy doing? What are those things that I love doing? What are those things that I can take and cannot take? Right? This is a big encapsulation of who you truly are, right? So you need to know who you are first. Another thing you need to know is, what are your goals, right? What are those things that you want to achieve? What are those things that you hunger for? What are those things that when you see, it gives you joy, right? At a point, I was in a garden with somebody, and then someone threw a question like, what is that thing that you would do wholeheartedly without getting paid? And this is something we need to ask ourselves. What is that thing that I can do without any monetary benefit attached to it? Yes. Like I said, God did not create us to come to the world and make money. No. So that thing that you can do without any monetary benefit, then you need to consider that as well. And then the third thing and final thing I'll be saying is that you need to know who you can serve, right? We're in this world somehow to serve somebody. Yes. So we need to know, okay, this thing that I'm trying to do, who can it be of help to? This thing that I'm trying to do, how can it benefit the world at large? How can it benefit people around me? The truth is, this world is not just about you, but you need to also know the people that you can serve. Okay, so moving on to the aspects of our lives where we need to be intentional about. The first aspect of our life where we need to be intentional about is our physical well-being. Yes, the physical part of our lives. Now this has to do with your body, this has to do with your health, and this has to do with the way you take care of yourself, your daily routine. Okay, now when we talk about your body, this has to do with what you eat. Yes, a whole lot of us are not so concerned about what we eat. We're not intentional, we're not conscious of what we take into the body, and that is something that if we look into it properly, then it simply means we're being intentional about what we eat, right? What we eat is as important as anything we can think about. What we eat, your health, how well you take care of yourself, the personal hygiene. Some people don't even care about how they look, right? Some people don't even care about whether they're looking good, the kind of creams that some people even feel that it is not so much of a big deal to wear a nice fragrance. Yeah, it's that bad. Some people don't even understand that it's very important to, it might not be so expensive, but at least looking good is good business. Okay, and if God was not intentional about how we look, right, he should have just said, okay, everybody go your way. And even when when in the garden and they had, Adam and Eve had sinned, he wouldn't be intentional about, okay, let me make this for them to at least cover their nakedness, right? So you need to be intentional about um your physical life in general. You need to be intentional about that. Another thing you need to be intentional about is your mental health and your emotional feelings, right? The mental health has to do with what you think about. If you have negativity up in your head, you just discover that negativity keeps going on, negativity keeps happening. That is why you need to guard everything that you think about. You need to guard everything that you imagine. Yes, okay. And then talking about the emotional feelings, you need to be conscious of how you feel. Okay, you need to be conscious of how you react to certain things. You need to be conscious of all that happens right in your heart and in your head. Okay, another aspect of our lives where we need to be intentional is in our financial aspect. Yes, we need to really know, the amount of money that comes in, what we spend on our investment. Now, when you see that there are certain things that are unnecessary, you need to cut them down, right? This is a way of managing funds. This is a way of making sure that you don't spend excessively. This is a way of making sure that you use your money wisely. Okay, in as much as it's okay to use your money since you're the one making the money, but you really need to be intentional about where this money is going to. You need to be intentional about making more investment, so you don't just spend unnecessarily. I have a friend that actually piles up all of the ATM slips that he makes monthly, and then at the end of the month he does a kind of a check and balance thing, right? So I feel that's also a nice way of making sure that we are intentional about our financial life. We're intentional about how much we spend. Another thing we need to be intentional about is our friends and our relationships in general, right? There are certain people that we really do not need in our lives. There are certain people that we don't need to keep close in our life. There are certain people that we don't need to be so attached to. Now, this kind of persons are people that we need to cut off. Okay, this kind of relationships are relationships that we need to let go of. And now there are certain people in our lives that needs more of our time, that needs more of our attention, that needs more of our care. Now these are people that you need to be intentional about. You don't need to starve them of the attention. You don't need to hoard the attention from them, right? Now if you're intentional about friends, if you're intentional about family, if you're intentional about relationships in general, these are things that you need to pay attention to. how they feel when you do things, how they would react when you do these things. Those are things that needs to be in your subconscious mind. Most importantly, when you're dealing with friends, families, relationship. For goodness sake, families and friends are really like backbones. These are, we shouldn't really joke with our relationship with people. Yes, the good people basically, because we really might not know how they would come in eventually in our lives. Take relationships seriously and cut off the relationships that are very, very, very unnecessary. Like very unnecessary relationships should be cut off. Like final aspect I'll be talking about where we need intentionality is our spiritual aspects. Yes, our relationship with God needs a whole lot of intentionality. Like we need to be intentional about how we relate with God, right? Don't forget I talked about him being the creator. Like he is the one that we should be rapporting with. He's the one that we should be communicating with. He's the one that we need to be very intentional with. Like anything we're going to be doing that should be contrary to what we believe, then we shouldn't even venture into it at all. Like we should be very intentional about doing that which our creator wants, doing that which we know that would make our creator happy. Now by the time we realize that we are intentional about this thing, we don't just do things casually, we don't just do things without thinking properly. And basically, this spiritual aspect is something that controls, I feel, other aspects that I've talked about. So basically, I hope you found value in this video. Like I talked about our physical aspect, I talked about our mental and our emotional aspect, I talked about the financial aspect, I talked about the friends and relationship aspect, and of course, I finalized by talking about the spiritual aspect. Now, there are other aspects of our lives that needs really, 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 really needs intentionality. Basically, intentionality helps us to grow, right? Once we're intentional about something, we realize that we are going to definitely grow in that aspect of our lives. All right, so thank you for sticking around to this very time. I hope you found value. Like I hope you really found value. If you found value, if you found value in what we talked about today, do well to let us know. Comments in the section below, drop a comment in the section below. Do well to give us a thumbs up, like this video and share this video. And if you've not subscribed, join the family today. Thank you so very much. Bye.